Nathan, NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, closed fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the tent plates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Grippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Red Tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Good morning, my friends. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Let's get into it. 513-873-7134. If you want to transform your brain waves into what I like to say is talk radio waves this morning. Good morning to you. It's a beautiful, glorious Monday. Great to be alive. Please like and share this program because I need you to help me break that Facebook algorithm or challenge it at least. Facebook is tripping. It's tripping, but the power of people can overcome it. On today's show, I want to talk about the future of rights, catching up with an old friend, and the new America. And that gives us some space. Since last we talked, there's been some interesting details from Cincinnati's hottest corruption trial. That's the PG Sinfield trial. And man, there was some humdingers on Friday. We'll talk about it. Good morning to you. Since the last time we talked, Roe v. Wade, well, I won't say the last time we talked because maybe you don't notice, but I did a special broadcast on Friday. I mean, it's like, gosh darn, we get off the show and within hours, Roe v. Wade falls. So I did a special live broadcast to talk about it, to get your reaction. And some people are still shocked by this, but we are not here. Here at Cyber Wakanda, we are futurist. We can see the future. And as we already know, while the world may call Donald Trump a clown, we take the man seriously. The man told you, I am only going to nominate judges to the Supreme Court that are going to tackle Roe v. Wade. He meant that. And that's what happened. It's official if you didn't really know it. There's a very conservative majority on the Supreme Court, largely due to the election of Donald J. Trump. I won't go over it because I know I sometimes can be like a broken record, but I ain't surprised. We should not be surprised by this. I've been telling you for years what the Republican Party's plan is. The Republican Party wants to reduce. They want to be the Harlem Globetrotters, politically speaking, to the Democrats' Washington Generals. Sure, there's a game, but we already know the outcome. And along the way, guess what? They're going to make them look foolish. Tell me I'm wrong. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Susan Collins, white female Republican from Maine, has been in the news all weekend. She says she feels as if Brett Kavanaugh misled her. And Brett Kavanaugh is the Supreme Court justice who was accused of doing something crazy back in the day, like physically pulling himself on himself, like pushing up on a woman. And I'm not in the room. I do seem to regard they were playing that lawyer speak, that politics speak. But I do believe he misrepresented himself as well. But I mean, here's a man who tried to force himself on a woman back in the day and lie about it and getting his feelings about it. You think you give a damn about misleading Susan Collins? Of course not. What are the Democrats going to do? We shall find out. What is going to be their response? We should find out. I saw AOC on a weekend politics show, and she's like, well, you got this element of Democrat Party that, like, they want things to be like they used to be. It's like they just can't see the modern day Republican Party for what it really is. We've been saying that as well. I think there's something to that. Instantly, women all over the country lost their rights. I've been taking a deeper dive into this to get a better understanding of what the legal argument was, but also, what people think the ramifications are going to be. And they could be widespread. We shall see. We have a conservative, active court. First time in the court's history, they voted to overturn precedent, especially when they're curtailing rights. We talked about this. So months ago, it was right after the leaked memo came out, right? That the Supreme Court was leaning toward doing away here's what they essentially did. They basically said that there was no protection in the U.S. Constitution for an abortion. And that's very troubling. That's very questionable. See all these people saying, oh, well, it was on shaky ground. I don't know about all that. Yeah, it sounds good, but I don't know about all that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of rights that are not explicitly written in the U.S. Constitution that through case law we still have. You know what I'm saying? What we see with the Supreme Court is what people do. People do what they want to do when they got the power to do it. Period. End of story. Period. End of story. I'm not going to go down that path again where I criticize people that didn't vote in 2016 or voted for Donald Trump. I'm not going to go down that path because you already know. You already know. Some of the comments, though, man, have been crazy, man. It's like, do I really have to dignify this with a damn response? Man, just go to my Facebook page, Nathan Ivey. You want to look at some of these damn comments. Coming up at 8:30 a.m. this morning, I'm scheduled to speak with Melissa McFadden. That's a sister. She wrote a book titled Walking the Thin Black Line, Confronting Racism in the Columbus Division of Police. Remember when she talked to us? And most recently, a federal jury awarded her $2 for being the subject of racial discrimination and retaliation by the Columbus Division of Police. Yeah. Remember we talked, that's the sister with Stone. She got backbone. I mean, true, man. She's standing up fighting the power while on the job. So we're scheduled to speak with her. Over the weekend, I got a chance to catch up with an old friend. We had lunch. We've been planning on doing so for a long time. And my old friend's name is Jerry Tolliver. It had been a minute. It's great to see Jerry. It's great to see her. I would never have been in the buzz if it wasn't for her. I never would have made that leap, at least here at that station. It would have happened somewhere, if not for her. You know what I'm saying? Had fond memories working with Jerry over the years. So we had a good chance to pick up, spend about, 45 minutes having brunch together on Saturday. That was really, really good. And Jerry seems to be doing well. She seems to be doing well. And some old shit came bubbling up, but it is what it is. I mean, Rat Monkey Snakes is going to be Rat Monkey Snakes. It is what it is. But we had some real interesting conversation talking about, a lot of different things, including, current politics, what's going on with PG, what's going on with the news, what's up with the podcast. Brent writes, Nate, did Jerry Tolliver ever bake you a sweet potato pie? No. Yeah, it was good to see her. It's good to see her. Hadn't seen Jerry. Shit, it was pre-pandemic. He going back years now. Good people, good folks, man. Good folks. Jerry Tolliver got a bad shape. I'll say this again. People can believe what they want to believe, but I was there. that shit that happened with the Buzz was personal. It was a white male, a Mitch, literally, who had a problem with her and was probably insecure, because there's a lot of men who get insecure when they're dealing with a woman that can speak her mind and knows what to do. And that whole thing that happened with the Buzz that led to her and I leaving was premeditated. All that shit was premeditated, as most of the time it is. Y'all know how this works. You know that. So it's very interesting. And the other thing about that is that, like, and I don't know what it's like in other cities, but in this city, and not everybody is like this. Not everyone is like this, but this is definitely here. Is that when people feel like you can't do shit for them, they ain't got shit for you. You know what I mean? If you can't do the for them, it's like, they look right through you in this city. Black folks too. Shit, black folks especially in some cases. Good morning to you. But it was interesting catching up with her. So we talked about a bunch of stuff, man. It's quite interesting. Very interesting. I hadn't gone down memory lane in a while, but we had a good conversation. As things happened, I had to have my son with me, and not had to, but he was with me, and she got a kick out of him. She was like, "How old is that boy?" So it was a good time all the way around. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Now, for some time now, my friends, you know I've been sharing a phrase with you, the new America. The new America, because by my eye and my observation and my field, things done changed. We're in a whole different era. And what happened with Supreme Court is just another example of that. You know what I'm saying? It's just another example of that. But this is just the beginning. Not the end. This is just the beginning. You know, do you think that this move by the Supreme Court, as it relates to Roe v. Wade, do you think that this is going to have an effect in the midterm election? Do you think that people are going to be more mindful of Supreme Court nominations and really, really, really having that at a higher regard, higher on their list of things that are important to them when they're voting? I mean, what we've seen is, I mean, quite honestly, friends, I had to be honest with you, like, this whole Roe v. Wade thing was foreseeable and preventable. This was foreseeable, and this was as foreseeable as January 6th was, in terms of people actually showing up and getting violent. Yeah, some people are like, I couldn't believe this happened. This was foreseeable and preventable. Totally preventable. Totally preventable. But again, when you got people running around, and instead of talking about real shit, they talking about hot sauce. They talking about what Hillary said 25 years ago, and just shit that has no impact on the future whatsoever. This is what you're going to get. But do you think it's going to have an impact? I've been reading and watching all over the weekend, and they're like, oh, this might energize the Democrat base. I'm like, damn, this is what it takes? Like, it's very true. You ever seen that experiment before? Because this is a human being. This is us. Where, and I've heard about this. I've never seen it, because I guess that would be cruel to any usual animals, and PETA would get all over your ass. They show up in some kind of public event and throw some whale sperm on you and say, we love whales. You'll be covered in whale sperm. But have you ever heard about that that experiment where they say that if you put a frog in a thing of water, like in a pot, and the water is like room temperature, and then you turn the heat on, the frog will just sit there and boil to death? Right? You heard that before? That's humans. That's humans in a lot of different ways. The earth, politics, you name it. It's a lot of different ways. That's us. That's us. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Jack writes, Harambe Thomas. Harambe Thomas? Harambe Thomas needs to have his ass kicked. I don't know. I mean, he needs to be investigated. I don't know if he even has his ass kicked. He needs to be investigated. But Harambe Thomas, he's hilarious. He been that way for day one. You know, all they needed was Amy Comey Barrett. You can see she got Karen all in her eyes. It's in her eyes. Brett Kavanaugh, you trusted him? I never trusted him. I mean, why do you think that Mitch McConnell prevented Barack Obama from sitting a Supreme Court justice? He didn't do that just because. They had a plan. They had policy objectives, long term, short term, medium term. So, you know, we, if we are collectively all together, and we are not, have to do the same. We got to match that energy, but we'll see. Yesterday at 7:05 a.m., I posted something. Good morning and welcome to the new America, where the same people that argue that wearing a mask during a global pandemic is an invasive violation of rights, but the state forcing a woman to bear a child is not. So I posted that. That's my observation on it. You know what I'm saying? You got some people out here that's so happy that women lost a right. And these are some of the same folks that didn't even want to put a mask on. So I posted this yesterday at 7:05. Would you believe some of these crazy comments I got? Some of the I couldn't even understand what they were talking about. One dude told me, you know what I'm talking about, Nathan Ivey. I'm like, I don't fuck you talking about it. So now I got to struggle to try to figure it out. Oh, I see you, Shaba Zulu. Shaba Zulu's profile pic looked like Kanye last night, the BET Awards. I thought he was going to hyperventilate and pass out. He had a full mask on, glasses, looking like a broke down Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. Man, some of these comments, though, it just, I don't get it. You know, I don't know who Mari Tadishi is, but Mari Tadishi, come on, man. Come on. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't understand. And then when I tell people, like, look, I don't understand your point. Yes, you do. Like, bro, I really don't. If I did, then I wouldn't put that there. And it's funny how people try to flip arguments, but in doing so, what they do is they reveal things. One guy named Al Moore. Al, I ain't picking on you, bro, but I mean, hey, Al Moore posted, damn, bro, they got you too, Nathan Ivey. How is anyone forcing a woman or man to lay down, have sex, knowingly having a baby? States raping MFs now? This is what Al Moore posted. They got you too, Nathan Ivey. Who is they? How is anyone forcing a man or woman to lay down, have sex, knowingly have a baby? States raping MFs now? He ain't even, what? It's not about if the state is forcing men or women to lay down and have sex. That's not what the issue is, Al. I had to tell him this. And then, so I posted, Al, I don't understand what you mean. This is what he posted. You understand, my guy, but go ahead, get your coins, bro. Huh? What are you talking about? So then I had to go back and look at it again and really think about this. So I responded to him. Okay, let me try it this way. Your statement doesn't match what's going on. What are you talking about, Al? The conversation isn't about men and women being forced to have sex. It's about women being forced to have babies they don't want, even in the cases of rape or incest in some states. It's about, in Ohio now, it's the heartbeat bill. That's the law of the land when it comes to abortion in Ohio. What the freak is Al talking about? Some people may just be so smart that they dumb. I don't even know what he's talking about. Here's what he wrote just 8 hours ago. Nathan Ivey, I know what it's about, but your statement spreads a false narrative. Like, how does my statement, let's go back to my original statement that I posted here. Because I think people be so desperate to make a point, they missed the point. Here's what I posted. Good morning and welcome to the new America, where the same people that argue that wearing a mask during a global pandemic is an invasive violation of rights. And that's what people was doing. They was running. This is facts. It was running around here talking about 1776 and nobody can force me to put a mask on. So he's comparing the government's response to a global pandemic to a woman's right to choose. That makes sense. What in the freak? What are you talking about, man? Do I really have to break this down, Al? Oh, damn. I guess I do. Damn. This is simple. Why complicated with the nonsense, Al? You had people that run around here when we was dealing with COVID-19, we didn't really understand what it was. We didn't even understand who was at risk. We had a lot of question marks. The medical professionals had a lot of question marks about it. COVID-19 just hit, boom, like a tsunami. It was in your face. They didn't even have a vaccine. There wasn't even a vaccine. The medical scientists were struggling to figure out what it is, where it is, how it is. COVID-19 is an infectious disease. This spread just by talking to somebody. Just talking to somebody, you can get this. And it didn't matter whether you was white or black. It was indiscriminate. All we know is that some people were more susceptible to getting it and suffering serious injuries, even death, than others. That's all we knew, right? And you're comparing that to a woman's right to choose, Al? Ah, damn. Oh my God. No wonder. We are living in the last days of common sense. But people be trying to be so smart with it, I'm going to be clever and shoot the shit back at Nate. You ain't even really thinking this shit all the way through, bro. Think it through. Damn. You right, states raping MFs now? Well, if you're talking about in a metaphorical sense, yeah. If you're talking about in a literal sense, no. Or maybe kinda. I don't know. I don't know how you would look at it. If you have states in the United States where if a woman becomes pregnant due to incest, father, brother, cousin, something like that, and or rape, maybe it's a double whammy, maybe it's rape and incest, that in these states, the state is now telling them that you got to keep it. Now, that might not be what you would call, the according to Hoyle, we really look at rape, but that's something. I don't even know what the word is for it, Al. I don't even know what the word is. And then all these black people, any black person, I'm state rights, Negro, that shit ain't benefit your people. States right, yeah, take it back to the states. They so fucking smart. They sound dumb. It doesn't make any sense. States right. Do you understand the way things used to be ran in this country? And not too long ago with the whole state rights. Uh-huh. Yeah, sure. Then who else I got to deal with? Then somebody else jumped in here. I think it was Michael Egan asking me some old dumb shit. What the hell? Here's Michael Egan. I hope you're in here, Michael. He writes, it is ironic, though, is it not? ? In your analogy, you were all about wanting people to stay home, getting vaccinations, and wearing masks to save lives. But when it comes to abortion, then it's my body, my choice. Huh? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Stop tweet. Don't even respond with that dumb-ish, man. I don't even know what you're talking about. Wait, let me take this off so you can see it. See, I'm reading straight from the Facebook. I don't even know what these dudes be talking about. Look at this crap. Let me see if I can't make it bigger for you so you can see what Michael posted. We need to see this, Michael. Everybody know what you posted. It's crazy talk. People try and be smart and they're gonna try to use my argument against me and da. I mean, waste of time, bro. No, I don't care. I don't care about being right, but I do care about being factual. That's it. I see Danita was in here getting with him too, though. And so that's what he posted. Here it is. In your analogy, you were all about wanting people to stay home, getting vaccinations, and wearing masks to save lives. But when it comes to abortion, then it's my body, my choice. Huh? We got us another smart dumb cat. Michael think he's so smart and don't make no sense at all. What are you talking? So now we're gonna compare as we did with Al. We're comparing an infectious disease that the government didn't even know what it was. They didn't really know how it was spread. They didn't know how infectious it was. There was no vaccine for it. None. And you had people at the Capitol of Ohio, up in Columbus, having rallies with no mask on. Talking about you can't force me to wear a mask. There's people out here that lost their job over that dumb shit. Idiots. Idiotic. COVID-19 kills people indiscriminately just by getting close to them or touching a surface. You're comparing that to a woman's right to choose. Ah, damn, Michael. So I told him, Michael, I don't understand your point. My point being, this is Michael. My point being, you were all for the state and government imposing restrictions within masks and vaccines, but somehow the states should have the power to protect a life. So which is it? So the states have the power to place restrictions to protect life, or should people have the ability to make decisions over their own body? And he actually got some people that like this dumb shit. What? Number one, if you really want to have this conversation about the hypocrisy of states caring about life, then do a deeper dive into that, Michael. So the state they care about how many of these states are pro-execution, in which they appear to have pro-life governors. That don't make any sense. If you pro-life, you pro-life. Man, I was reading some stuff and watching stuff over the weekend, and what they found is that in a lot of these states that have the most restrictive abortion bans, they've got the highest incidence of child poverty, infant mortality, post baby being born mortality of the parent at the lowest in the whole country. In many of these states, they have the most stringent abortion laws. Guess what else they got? They got the social. They put the least amount of money into the well-being of children once they become born. So who's the real hypocrite here, Michael? Like if you're pro-life, then you're pro-life. So that's why I say some of these folks are not about pro-life. They're about pro-birth. They want you to have the baby. And once the baby gets here, they don't give a damn about the baby. They don't care. They want to force the mother to get back. I mean, we live in a society where we try to force mothers. We care about babies so much that we sit back and let them dismantle the social safety net. Who's that protect? Well, mostly babies. We love babies, though. Get out of here. That's why I say, man, there's a lot of things like I may not like, but I'm not about to step in somebody's house and start breaking them off and taking care of their kids. Some people are speculating that in some of these states, childhood poverty is going to increase. Listen, life is full of a lot of difficult decisions. And I only worry about the difficult decisions that's my business. That's hell enough. I can't be worried about what somebody else doing with their baby. And hey, that's a difficult decision a woman got to make. But when that woman makes a difficult decision, where's the help? You ain't got nothing but scorn. Now you a single mother. You should have got married. Help yourself. You lazy ass mofo. Oh, they shouldn't be able to buy alcohol with the EBT card. No, huh? I would love to see the people that's out here in the streets and in their heart or whatever. They love the babies. They love the babies. They love the babies so much. But when the baby get born, especially if it's a non-white baby, they ain't got nothing for you. Nothing for you. Damn hypocrites. Those are your hypocrites, Michael. And again, I just refute and rebuke in the name of common sense your argument, your comparison. It's just dumb shit, man. Think better. Those are your orders. Think better. More better thinking is what we need from Michael and Al. More better thinking. That shit don't make no sense. A global pandemic, and we didn't even know what it was. We had no idea. We struggling to get some kind of information and knowledge from the medical establishment, the medical industry, because we didn't know what was going on. That's why reason people were staying at home, fool, because we didn't know what it was. But you're gonna compare that to a woman's right to choose. But I bet you in their heads, when they was twiping that shit, it made so much sense. Oh, let me show Nathan a hypocrite. Let me show him, because he was telling people to wear a mask. And now he's saying that it's wrong for the government to tell a woman to do with their body. So which is it? Man, if you don't stop, the goofiest shit is. See what I got to deal with? See what I got to deal with? Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Sister Iris writes, what's the minimum pay in these states? Exactly. Some of the same states they love children so much. They don't care. They care about their children. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about, all they care about is their right-wing ideology and shit. I seen this white woman, and she was arguing. She was so happy that Roe v. Wade, and she was talking all this stuff about the babies and life. And I know people who are the product of rape. Huh? That's none of your business. Go worry about yourself. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Good morning to you. And let's talk about PG Sinfield for a minute, man. Whoo, man, Friday. Friday was interesting. Very interesting on Friday. And what we found out is Chinenum Ndukwe, he wasn't just targeting PG Sinfield. They was targeting a bunch of people. And they just happened to catch up with PG Sinfield. That's something. The Fed's been here since 2017. And Mr. Ndukwe was, shit, no wonder they was paying him, because he was delivering. He was putting them in the room with all kind of people. All kinds of folks. And I want to talk about this morning at 513-873-7134. All right, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. We got to talk about this. Man, so apparently the feds had about $15,000 that they was trying to give to John Cranley, the former mayor. Now, I don't know what this was for. $15,000 in a lump sum? That don't seem right. But apparently it never got to the mayor, former mayor John Cranley. Why? Well, because somebody on his staff, a guy named Jared Cameras, who I believe is a white male, he stole the money. Ain't that some shit? That's some straight out of Power, Ghost Book 2 type shit. Y'all hear that? I'll say it again. The feds, through Ndukwe, had about $15,000 that they gave to the Ndukwe to give to one of John Cranley's aides or somebody that works in his office. For what reasons, I don't know. But the money never reached John Cranley. Why? Because the aide stole it. That's some paid in full shit right there. Yeah. And apparently that's when he got on Jared Cameras got on that's some balls. Well, I can't wait to hear why he stole the money. Did he steal the money because he needed the money? Or was he like, you know what, I can't give this to John because this is wrong. His goose will be cooked. I'm going to take the fall for it. I don't know. Did he take the money because he could influence John Cranley? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm telling you, that shit is so real. That shit is so real. You hear that? So I don't know what the hell was going on, man. I mean, apparently Ndukwe was worth the money. Apparently. And you have some former city council persons whose name came up as well. And the way it was written, and again, this is the way it was written. Okay. And I'm not telling you anything that is not going to be talked about all day long. We ain't shying about it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is pick up the paper. Listen to the radio today. People be talking about all weekend or all week. But apparently, there was allegedly some type of meeting and conversation where these folks came together. Pardon me. These folks came together and was allegedly talking about how to skirt campaign election finance laws. Now, do I believe it? I mean, anything is possible. I don't know. Does having a conversation automatically make somebody illegal? I mean, no, just thoughts. But it's interesting what's shaking out. Somebody wrote an op-ed piece that I saw over the weekend, Cincinnati.com, in which they said they felt as if the PG Sinfield trial might be the best thing that ever happened for Cincinnati. And I guess what they're trying to say is, I didn't read it, but I guess what they're trying to say is that, some good will come out of it because we'll learn a lot. Maybe it might clean up the system, blah, 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 blah. What I would say is, as long as money is involved in the system, it's going to be always inherently an elitist system and always going to be subject to be flawed. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. When the money's involved, Where the money reside, it's always going to be like that. It is what it is. But did you see all of this shit? This shit is wild. And they had some more, recordings of PG Sinfield, which, again, I'm getting this secondhand through the media. You always got to say it that way and filter it that way. But shit, it ain't looking good. It is not looking good. But we shall see. Or should I say, the comments that came out on Friday didn't look good. I'm not in the room. I can't really take the pulse of what's actually happening. But have you been paying attention? If so, what do you think? 513-873-7134. If you like to share your thoughts this morning, I would love to hear them. I'd love to hear them. Get to the choppers. Good morning to you. Good morning. Miss D writes greetings. Fox writes rise and shine, young stars. Ray is in the house. She writes good risings all. What's up, Ray? Good morning, Renee. Good morning to Ray and Renee. Good morning to you. Yeah, Crystal stole the money. Stole the money. Say the biggest crooks in Cincinnati are not what you see on the media. And I'm not calling Mr. Cameras a crook because at this point he hasn't been convicted of anything. Although I think the feds got him on some criminal exposure. That's my new phrase. I learned that last week. Good morning to you. Brandy writes greetings. Regina writes good morning. Let's get it. Aaliyah writes good morning all. Angela writes good morning, Nate Tropolis. TC writes good morning. Brian writes morning. Tabitha writes good morning. Let's chop it up. Anthony writes like and share, fam. Stepan writes good morning, Nate Choppers. Good morning to you. Joe writes good morning, Choppers. Jared writes good morning. Now, coming up in about 15 minutes, I'm scheduled to be joined by Melissa McFadden. And she wrote a book of her experiences as a Columbus police officer. And she had a lawsuit. They tried to play her, at least from her perspective. Well, not just her perspective, a jury sided with her. And then they awarded her an eye-opening $2. That's it. What the hell? We'll get her thoughts about what's going on in the Columbus Police Department and what's next for her. You sue somebody, stay on the job? Terrace, what's up, Terrace? Good morning, everyone. What up, Jared? What up, Jared? What up, Joe? What up, TNT? Again, thoughts and prayers to you and your family. Yeah, she got that personal thing she's dealing with right now. Charles writes, Grand Risings, Nate and Choppers. Losing somebody in your family is never easy. Good morning, King Nate and Choppers. Good morning to you, sir. Charles writes, the feds making the decision to leave the abortion issue up to individual states. You better believe women's rights will be violated as they will more than likely be banned in Ohio. Well, that's what they do. They want. I mean, since the moment Roe v. Wade went into effect, you have forces, not really, I take that back. It wasn't the moment. Rachel Maddow did a very, very interesting look back about the politicization of Roe v. Wade over the years. And for the first 5 years, I mean, really, there was nothing. You know what I'm saying? Roe v. Wade didn't become a hot button political issue until 80. You know what I'm saying? When Reagan flipped his stance. When Reagan was the governor of California, he was for a woman's right to choose. When he was running for the nomination to be president as a Republican, he flipped. So, what we saw again is not magic. It's not magic. What we saw is a long-term political strategy that came to fruition. Why do you think the evangelicals, listen, I feel like a broken record. Why do you think the evangelicals was rolling with Trump even though they didn't like Trump? Everybody looking at evangelicals like they zealots and they dumb and they this, that. They smarter than a lot of people. They way smarter than the people that was out here talking about, I can't vote for Hillary because she went on the Breakfast Club and had hot sauce in her purse. They way smarter than them people. They way smarter than the people that was out here running around talking about 25 years ago, Hillary said, bring them to heel. They way smarter than them people because what they were able to do was hold their nose and vote for Trump because their long-term strategy was bigger than Trump. And look at what happened. Trump's gone. But his 3 Supreme Court justices are all in their early 50s. They might be around for another 25 years with a dominant, I think, theocratic, conservative, redundant agenda and willing to move on it. Everybody's talking about John Roberts lost his steam. He lost his power, lost his mojo. You know what I'm saying? He had a concurring opinion in which basically he said that they could have ruled in favor of Mississippi without touching Roe v. Wade, and that's what he wanted. But what he didn't understand, and maybe he came to understand, is you're dealing with the new breed now. They came in with an agenda, and they're going to execute the agenda as soon as possible. Some people are like, well, where's Ketanji Brown? Well, she's not on the court yet. She'll be sworn in July. When is it Breyer? Whoever's retiring, I forget his name. It could be Breyer. When the Supreme Court justice whose seat she's going to take is going to officially announce his retirement, and then she'll be sworn in late July. So she's not even a part of this. Ooh, boy, I bet she was. Good morning to you. Angela writes, our body, our choice. Well, not anymore. When are men going to start losing their rights on something? I guess this is a man's world. Yeah, this is a man's world. This is a man's world. Absolutely. I saw some of the funniest memes and I saw some of the funniest memes. Let me see what this is. Look at this right here. This is hilarious. Speaking of men losing their rights. Some of this shit is hilarious. I love people. Look at this. Ban Viagra. Impotence is God's will. You got a point there. If God wants you to be impotent, then that's what you should be. Why are you out here taking these drugs, trying to stop God's will? Here it is right here. Ban Viagra. Impotence is God's will. I don't want my tax dollars paying for your erection. If pregnancy is God's will, then so is impotence. And then look at the look at the sign there. That's good shit right there. That is good shit. I ain't mad about that at all. Good morning to you. Also said got my straight talk shit up there. I'll take that down. I thought Edna had a really strong show. We had a few technical difficulties with one of the guests, but I thought it was a very, very strong show. All about the opera. And she's done a fantastic job doing that show and pulling together, interesting stuff for you. So check her out. It's up on our page right now. Ban Viagra. Impotence is God's will. Them white men ain't going for that. So hold up now. I know we said there is no, it's in the Constitution. You got a right for drug relief for drugs to pay for impotence drugs. You got a right for that. And just making shit up as they go along, basically. Good morning to you. Angela writes, salutations, good folks. Good morning to you. Be careful of rat monkey snakes. Let me see. Somebody asked me about Jerry. Made me think of rat monkey snakes. Mary Miller, member in good standing with the GOP, touted the decision made by the Scouters was a victory for white life. Abortion rates among whites was an unintended consequence. Charles is right. Yeah, Mary Miller, and she was introducing Donald Trump, and she said that basically Roe v. Wade was a victory for white life. And then her aides put out a statement saying that she misread. And I'm like, you're a state rep from the state of Illinois, Republican. She was at the Save America rally. I mean, the Republicans are so good about keeping up enthusiasm with their base, even when they don't have the majority. They're so good about that. And the way they do it is fear-mongering. It is what it is. Yeah, she said it was a historic victory for white life. That's what she said. Now, her people put out a statement saying she misread. I understand that. Sometimes I misread things. That can happen, right? Her spokesperson said she meant to say right to life. And I can see that. I'll give her a little bit of slack. Maybe. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. I got my guest, Melissa McFadden, backstage. Let's bring her on with no further ado. Hey, good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm better than I deserve, basically. Good to see you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
So we spoke. I mean, I'm sure you did a lot of interviews. You probably don't remember, but I won't forget it. We spoke a little bit a while ago about your book. And then I read there was some updates to your case.
Yes.
Some surprising updates to the case, some eye-opening updates. And I want to bring you back just to catch up with you and see where you are now. Your book is titled Walking the Thin Black Line, Confronting Racism in the Columbus Division of Police. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Mm-hmm. And where can people pick it up?
It's on Amazon for $10. I made sure it was low price because I want everybody to get the information. For me, it's about the knowledge and exposing what's going on. But I forgot to do my disclaimer. I'm here speaking as a private citizen. I'm not representing the city of Columbus or the Division of Police.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure I'm clear on that.
And I know that's very, very important. I know it's very important. But just take us back for people seeing you for the first time. Take us back. Why did you write? Tell us about yourself and why did you write that book?
Well, I've been a lieutenant. I'm a lieutenant on the Columbus Police Department in Ohio for 26 years now. And over the course of my years in my career, I've been experiencing a lot of racism. I've seen a lot of cover up. This is a cover up culture we're in, and the way that we police is systemically racist, I believe. And I know we had a study that came out in 2019 that said Columbus police officers, the Columbus police officers disproportionately arrest and use force on African Americans more than any other ethnic group in the community or any other group in the community. So the things I've been seeing over the course of my career and has been validated by a lot of the different things that like the Matrix report and my lawsuit. So I experienced a lot of racism throughout my career. And trust me, I've been standing up internally against the racism. And I would help a lot of other officers file EEO charges against other supervisors that would discriminate against them. And in 2017, I helped a Black female, and they came after me because I got the internal affairs commander removed from internal affairs because she retaliated against this female for filing this EEO investigation. And when they came after me, they solicited complaints on me, lies, not true allegations. And so that was the basis of my lawsuit that I sued the city in 2017. So we just went to trial a couple of weeks ago, and I won. The city was found to be discriminatory and retaliatory towards me. And I got a $2 award, but like my lawyer said, it's not about the money. And like I told him, it's not about the money. So when we went in there and we spoke to the jury at the end, you tell them how much you want. We told them it's not about the money, it's about the principle. So I have plenty of money, but I don't have plenty of justice that's been going on. And that's why I wrote the book, because a lot of the people that discriminate and retaliate on the Division of Police, They don't have anything done to them. There's no accountability. So that was my way to hold them accountable and also to expose the division of police for their systemic racist behaviors and the way they police and the cover-up culture that we have. Now, mind you, all police officers, of course, are not bad. All Columbus police officers aren't racist, but the system that we police in, it indoctrinates our officers to be racist towards certain groups of people. And internally, we are experiencing as Black officers and female officers, racism and sexism. So if it's happening to us inside, can you imagine what's happening to the people on the outside? So lack of accountability was one reason why I wrote the book, because somebody needs to read it, and somebody that reads it might be able to change something. So that's the reason why I wrote it, to give everybody knowledge of what's really going on inside.
Man, Melissa McFadden. So you're currently on the force.
Yes.
Wow. And what's that like to have a lawsuit of this nature against the city of Columbus, and you're on the force, like going to work every day? Do people bring it up? Is there like can you feel like the culture is against you, or like people have an issue with it, or are officers like silently or maybe not so silently saying, hey, we appreciate you and thanks for what you're doing?
I get, we appreciate you, thanks for what you're doing behind the scenes. It's interesting because after I wrote my book in September 2020, I was still on. And because it's true, that's why people know what's really going on. So they don't say or mistreat me. They treat me fine when I'm in there. It's just the higher ups, the people that make the decisions about if you get an assignment and things like that. Those are the ones that continue to do discriminate and retaliate, are the ones that actually are making the decisions against me. But the regular officers, the other lieutenants, the other officers and sergeants, they're fine towards me. They might say stuff behind my back, but in my face, they treat me just fine. I think because I won't tolerate anything less than that. But in my book was out September 2020, and in Ohio, you have a year to file defamation. So I put people's names in the book that are still working there, their first and their last names, because I want to make sure that there's no mistake about who I was speaking about. And they need to be held accountable for the things that they've done. So their names are in the book, and they're so angry, and they filed all these complaints and things on me because of the book. But at the end of the day is the truth, because where is the defamation lawsuit a year later? There's none, because everything in the book is 100% truthful. But I get treated fine while I go to work every day. I'm going to work after this, and I will continue to go to work to affect change. And hopefully in August and September, I'll be getting promoted to commander.
Okay, I like that. Questions are flying in. So one person, TNT, wants to know, why was it only $2, and was that a gesture of disrespect?
We don't know why the jury necessarily did $2, but we because they didn't put anything on the jury verdict, so we can't say what they were thinking at the time. But it is what it is. And if they, to me, I won, and no one has filed a lawsuit against the city of Columbus since the 70s against discrimination, retaliation, and won. So I'm the first one in many, many years. So I'm excited just to get the win. To me, that's more important.
What was the makeup of the jury?
I had I think a female Asian, another like a foreign gentleman, and the rest I appear to be all Caucasian.
Okay. No sisters, no brothers on there?
I not the way I'm looking, I don't know if they identify as such, but the way I'm looking at them, I don't know. And there might have been one lady that might have been either biracial or Latino, so I couldn't really tell. But that's it. We didn't have any African Americans that I could see on the jury.
Is that an issue up in Columbus with, African Americans or Black folks being involved on juries?
Well, the thing is, it's the fact that it's through a federal court.
Right.
And the federal court system pulls from all of Ohio, basically.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But if it was a state court, if I had to go to the state court in Columbus, they would just pull from Franklin County. But because
okay, I understand.
Rural areas and stuff.
Someone wants to know, can you please ask Melissa why Columbus won't enter into an agreement with the DOJ to help clean up the police department?
I feel that we do not, as police being in police department for all these years, we don't like outsiders. We don't like people coming in from the outside. When we do training, even like mental health training, we don't bring in professionals to train us on mental health. What we do is we have officers research mental health. They put together a PowerPoint. That officer trains everybody else that's going to train, and then they treat the rest of the division. So we have a very difficult time bringing outsiders in, and I believe it's because we are a cover-up culture, and we cover things up all the time. I didn't get a job that's in a high-level position that could look at discipline, look at fairness, look at investigations, because they were worried that I would go in there and dig and find things that they're doing wrong. So they denied me a job that was rightfully mine because of that. They don't want anyone to know what's really going on inside. And if you actually get a look at what's happening, you will see the injustices that go on, not just outside with the citizens, but internally. So they don't want the DOJ to come in. They want them to come in on their own terms because they don't like to admit that they're wrong. They don't like to admit that they're racist, that they got behaviors that need to change. They don't want to admit that. And if DOJ came in and actually really took a look, they would see it. But right now they haven't been there as the community policing portion of it. And they're voluntarily showing them around. And of course, things that they want for them to see.
Melissa McFadden is my guest. So, what's the current state of the Columbus Police Department? I do know that there have been a couple of, at least two very high profile incidences that have to deal with use of force with Columbus police officers. Have they led to any reforms that you can see? Has the culture changed because of that at all?
Well, we got our first outside chief in 2021. Was it 2020? Yeah, 2021. And she's a Black female chief from Detroit. So it's our first time having a chief from outside the division of police. And it's our first time having a Black female as the police chief. So she's been there a year now, and she has changed the 8th floor. We call the 8th floor is where all our higher ups are. The highest rank in the division usually works on the 8th floor. The one thing that she's done, and those are the ones that set the tone for the division. The leadership is what sets the tone. The leadership is what sets the lack of accountability and things of that nature. So the first thing she did when she came in, she moved most of them people off of the 8th floor. So, and she created her own assistant chiefs. So she's in the process of building her rank structure there, her power circle, what have you. And so I see that as being a significant change because the people that were in place that was causing the racism, the discrimination, and things of that nature are kind of lightweight at odds with the new chief in a sense. So that's a good thing. But I haven't seen any changes per se when it comes to rules and regulations that matter to the community and matter to us as Black officers yet. But I think they'll come because she just got off probation actually this week.
That's good. That's exciting for Columbus and the people that Columbus police officers serve. That's exciting. Is she a real one?
I don't really know yet. Reservations are still there, waiting to see.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen the changes that I think we need for the community and for the internal issues we have. So once she starts doing that and I start seeing that, because sometimes people that are put in place, even though they look like you, don't mean that they are going to do what needs to be done.
Oh, believe me, I know. Believe me, I know, Melissa. I have learned that the hard way in some ways. What would you say to people that may be on their jobs? See, that's a tough thing to do because, like, what we say to officers is say something. You got to roll, say something, right? But there's people on their jobs where the stakes are far less high in terms of life and death, and they see people being mistreated. They've seen coworkers being mistreated. They've seen racism, and they don't say a word because they gotta cash them checks, right? So what do you say to people that might be in that situation? Was there something unique about your situation, maybe your financial situation, where you were able to do that? Because a lot of folks feel like they can't say nothing because I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me.
I think that if you do speak up, you are retaliated against. It's no question. And I am the highest ranking African-American, besides for outside chiefs, but internally. I'm the second female Black in the history to reach this rank as lieutenant. So there's not that many high-ranking African-Americans, first of all. To me, It's not my financial situation. It's just I know the rules so well. I have like 5 degrees. I educated myself throughout my whole career, and I know the rules so well. And it's just in me to speak up just because of my personality. In the military, I spoke up against injustices. It's just who I am. So for me, if I do it within the rules, in my mind, they can't mess with me. They can't do anything wrong to me, you know. But even though they made stuff up, I didn't realize that was gonna happen. But it doesn't matter. I think that if you speak up, you are retaliated against, and people see that. And what they did to me, being the highest ranking Black on the division at the time, they got scared even more. But me speaking out, standing up against the division, coming out here, speaking to people, letting them know what's going on, it has made a lot of changes inside. And now we have more Black officers and female officers speaking up against the division internally, like filing complaints, standing up for themselves.
So have you found that the more vocal and visible, the more visible you are, that kind of gives you more cover?
It does, because the community really supported me in my 2017 investigation that resulted in this lawsuit. If it wasn't for the community behind me, I don't think I would have the strength to do and stand up against the people in power. Now, when I tell you I was standing up against everybody that made the decisions, from the chief to several deputy chiefs, we're all in commanders, all higher ranking than me, all thought they could smash me. But I am from West Virginia, and my mom didn't raise a punk, like I say in my book. So I had to stand up and fight against them. And like I said, I've been fighting all these years. It's just internal fighting. That's what I've been doing.
And then I wonder if you kind of get a reputation like, look, don't mess with Melissa, because you know she ain't gonna play. And if she got a case, we gonna hear about it. Does that kind of thing happen?
Yeah, that definitely happens. And I think that's another reason why they came after me, because I've helped so many different people throughout my career, not only Black people and females, people with promotions. I've helped them file EEOs, and I have this reputation, they're saying, of being litigious, which I'm not. I only filed one lawsuit previously back in 2003, but they that one time when you file an EEO complaint, it's a taboo. So they put that on your back for the rest of your career. So if you're going to give me the reputation, I might as well live up to it. So we're going to do this.
I ain't mad at you. More questions coming in. Someone wants to know, do you have a Sentinel Police Division like we do here in Cincinnati? Are you supported by other Black officers on the force? Are you aware of the Sentinels organization in Cincinnati?
Yes, I am. We do not, excuse me, we have a NOBLE we're part of. We have a National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives chapter here in Ohio. It's not a union. It's just like a social organization. But we all in the division used to have to be a part of the Fraternal Order of Police. That's what we had. And if you know anything about the FOP, it's very much a organization that don't really support their Black members. Now, when I had my situation in 2017, the FOP was excellent with me. And they're excellent with me because I have filed unfair labor practices on them. So they have no choice but to be fair with me. But that's our union, and they need to do better when it comes to their African Americans officers in protecting them, because they protect them differently.
Here's another question. Is the chief in Columbus under civil service? Does she have protection in doing her job?
She is not. She's under a 5-year contract now. First year is a year of probation. And if she makes that year, she gets 4 more years. And they can re-up her for 5 additional years after her 5th year. So she does not have civil service protection, but she does have contractual protections.
You actually answered a bunch of questions that people had. Somebody writes, the Sentinels are a social organization as well.
Okay.
Down here in Cincinnati.
I
yeah,
thought
we do.
More a union, because I think maybe Cleveland has the one that's a union, an African American union down there.
Right. Yeah, we know all about the FOP here in Cincinnati. They come up, unfortunately, in some unfortunate circumstances all the time. So people are curious about that. Melissa, listen, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Again, where can people get the book? They can find it on Amazon. Just search for the title.
Yes, or Melissa McFadden. It's in there too.
Okay. Any plans for a second book? Like, what's next? Is it just you living your life now? What's next for you?
Well, I still got some more battles. I'm still fighting discrimination. I got another lawsuit I need to file on another deputy chief. So it's not over. I just continue to fight for change. We've got a lot of changes made already, and continue to push for that.
Okay, you see, you got another lawsuit. You ain't playing. Okay.
Yeah, because it's you gotta, if I don't stand up against it, these people will continue to do what they're doing. So I have another OCRC charge in the works right now, and that's going to come to a lawsuit as well. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Well, Melissa, again, thank you so much for your time this morning. I really appreciate you, and I wish you all the best. Thanks for what you're doing up in Columbus.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. That's Melissa McFadden, everybody. That's a great story. That's a very good story. She said, I ain't done. And like I said, there's a lot of people, man, they see wrong happen. They see bad stuff happening. They don't say a word because they don't want to lose their job. And I understand. I understand completely. You got to pay them bills. I get it. I understand 1000%. But that takes a lot of strength, though. It takes a lot of strength. Like I said, you got you got people out there working in situations where the stakes are not as high, but they don't feel like they got they don't have the freedom to speak their mind. Afraid of retaliation. You know what I'm saying? Afraid that they're going to lose that job. I get it. Good morning, everybody. Today's show is brought to you in part by our friends over at Wing Champ, undisputed champion of all wings. Their website, 3Ws.originalwingchamp.com. You can also get your Creamylicious brand ice cream there, and they are Black owned. Check them out this week. If not today, then this week. If you don't got to Sharonville much, the next time you go anywhere close to Sharonville, stop over by Wing Champ. Pick up a bite to eat and say hello. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning. You got me up until about 9 a.m. Then I got to make a quick move, and I'll be back with you tomorrow bright and early, 7 a.m. 7 a.m.-ish. Let's keep it real. Make sure you check out the Straight Talk Live podcast. Is up right now. Really interesting conversation with the artist. They were talking about the opera. Black folks in the opera here in Cincinnati. Black creators doing their thing. Check them out. Really important. I see more people have comments about Roe v. Wade. Yeah, you know, what's the title of her book, Kush? The title of her book is Crossing the Thin Blue Line. I'm sorry, Walking the Thin Black Line. Walking the Thin Black Line, confronting racism in the Columbus Division of Police. Matter of fact, I think I can screenshot it for you. Give me 1 second. And you'll know exactly what you're looking for. There it is. Boom, 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 and boom. There it is. Walking the Thin Black Line, confronting racism in the Columbus Division of Police. And again, we talked last year. She was gracious enough to give us some time and check it out. Just man, listen, that sister ain't playing. They don't want to mess with her. That's how some people are. They all talk. Once they see that you ain't playing no games, they'll fold. In a lot of cases, fold straight in. Good morning to you. More of your chat before we roll out of here in the next 15 minutes. Let me go back because people were posting about. People posting about Melissa McFadden. AR writes, so watch out for laws that restrict interstate movement overall. This is just the beginning. Ray speaks. What I would say is look at what Supreme Court Justice Thomas said. He just told you what the roadmap is. The roadmap next is, because what I've learned to understand is that there are other freedoms like same-sex marriage. Do you have a problem with same-sex marriage? That have been connected to the legal precedents of Roe v. Wade. And now that Roe v. Wade and the legal arguments that supported it had now been, not seen as valid. Since that's gone, then it could be sort of like a domino effect or like Jenga. When you take one block out, it weakens the blocks that, were supported by it, that type of thing. But there's lawyers out there. Feel free to call in and share your expertise. I don't want to get it wrong. I want to get it right. But that's what I understand. So Clarence Thomas told you. Now I don't care about. I don't. I take that back. I do care about. Same-sex marriage. We need to protect that. I'm not same-sex. I'm in a heterosexual marriage, but I understand that if you start taking rights from one people, it can be a short order before they're taking rights from you. It is what it is. Theocrats, religious zealots in robes, they're every bit I thought the Republicans didn't like judicial activism, which is stupid. You know what I'm saying? Which is dumb. I mean, what's funny is that there's nothing in the Constitution that says that the Supreme Court has the right to overturn precedents. That's been implied through case law. So, I mean, when I hear people making these arguments about how it was on a weak structure, I mean, I don't know. What I've learned as an adult is that when the powers that be want to do something, they'll find any rationale to do it. It doesn't really matter. You know what? They'll say, you know what? I want some ice cream and make a decision. It doesn't really matter what makes a decision. It only matters do they have the power to get it done. And they had the power to get it done. And that's it. That's it. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts. Somebody said YouTube Live. What does that mean? Timothy writes, I blame the young progressives with their mixed messages. If we're going to put any blame, I don't know if blame is the right way even to look at it. I mean, even though I might even said it, if I'm really being fair about it, it's not really about blame. It's really about what are you going to do now? That's what it's really all about. Blaming somebody and who's to blame. I mean, I think we can look back and to kind of get some insights and some knowledge as to how we got here. And perhaps that can give us some guidance on how to proceed further. I think there might be some value in that. But there's no real value in blaming. People need to decide how they really feel about Roe v. Wade, how you really feel about these political issues, and then decide what you're going to do about it. But then do it, whatever you decide to do. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying that's my opinion about what should happen next. Once we, get over our initial feelings over the weekend, people should decide where they want to fit in and then go do it. And that's it. Some folks don't care about this Roe v. Wade thing. It means nothing to them. Some folks, it means everything. So decide how you feel and do what you got to do. But let me go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning, dear brother. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning. Sister Iris.
Good morning. This is Iris. Yes. I just wanted to thank you for the interview with Melissa. I definitely will be one purchasing her book, but not one that's new to Columbus police. They have been notoriously oppressive to Black people forever. And it's been a hard road trying to get into the Columbus area to help Black people and to help them see that they matter, they value, and the fight is real, and to continue to stand up. So I think that there's some things coming on the horizon in an attempt to help further exacerbate the opportunity for fairness, transparency, and accountability in the Columbus Police Department. And Nathan, I wanted to share with you all, there's been a lawsuit filed against the Citizens Complaint Authority, just to let you know how important the measures of reform are. And I think when I was listening last week to the debate about Roe versus Wade and how we can attempt to say that nothing's been changed because some things are being taken away from us. I just want to speak to that a little bit, because I think that some of the statements that were being made are unfair. And in an attempt to change things, people need to have the opportunity to know that there is hope, and change can come when you stand up and fight back. But understanding that you're fighting against an evil wickedness that was here way before we ever were, and that they've had a gazillion years to figure out how to keep us oppressed. It's the greatest game ever. It's the largest economic development ever to create an underclass of people. But if the underclass doesn't see the value of life and the value of themselves and want to stand up and fight back, and not for them, but for their children and their grandchildren, then yeah, we're doomed. Anyhow, let me digress. Go back to the lawsuit. There's a lawsuit that was filed against the Citizens Complaint Authority. And we've seen this happen before, twice before. And so that the first appellate court ruled in favor of CCA, saying that what Cincinnati police was trying to attempt to have them do was against what was written and just against any law. So now we have another lawsuit which has helped to create the backlog. I want people to kind of follow, and I hope that when I call in and help bring in guests to explain where we are, that you can connect the dots and be able to follow. Most of the work in this work is keeping up with the work and keeping up with what's going on. So now there's another lawsuit because two officers had a case, which, by the way, was outside of the 90 days, which really makes my blood boil. Folk want to know what keeps me up at night is getting CCA in compliance with the 90 days. Why? That's how we wrote it. Why? Because it mimics what internal does. Why? Because we get complaints are sustained and there is a recommendation for a remedy or discipline, then that's the only way that you get it done. However, I'm going to digress again. This case was outside the 90-day window, but nonetheless very important, because what the Citizens Complaint Authority is doing with those cases that are outside of the window, outside of the 90-day window, is looking to see how they can use those cases to change policy. And that is what Miss Melissa was saying to you all. And that is what we have been doing for 20 years, is changing policies. And we didn't get all the policies because there are a gazillion of them in areas of which I never even thought that they would be to change. So the police have filed another complaint, naming me, not as someone that they're suing, but someone that they're complaining against because I stand up for the CCA. If you've ever attended a CCA meeting, of which we post and then we do the same thing on our Freedom Fridays, we go through the cases after the board meeting every month. If you've ever attended that, you know that there's a section where anyone has the ability to make a comment, and you get 3 minutes to make your comment. Now, this is outside of the complainant and outside of internal, outside of additional board members, outside of additional police, outside of the attorney. However, in the comment section is where we're finding where CPD, and they're outside, not always represented by FOP. So let's understand, they now go outside, which Black police officers have done for a long time, to get legal representation, because Black officers felt so they couldn't get representation. Now, white officers are going outside of the FOP getting representation because we have some far-right, legal-minded people who want to represent police in bad behavior and try to get them off of that. I'm giving you the facts so that you understand why it's so damn important to hold on to the provisions that we have here. And so now they want to be able to come in, use Administrative Code 28, which codified the Citizens Complaint Authority, meaning to people who don't believe the collaborative has had any legal ramifications, made it legal to have. The only way that you can get rid of it is by putting it on the ballot. So they want to take Administrative Code 28 to say that they need more time. So when and if there is a sustained finding against them, that they can come into the board, that particular board meeting, and appeal it. In this particular case that happened May 2022 of this year, when the case was being discussed, they came in and took up about 10 to 15 minutes trying to introduce new evidence. This is not a courtroom, and that's not how it's done. And so, of course, I unmute my phone because I'm attending the meeting by Zoom, saying that that is not the process. And if the complainant, the person who filed the complaint, which was in the Zoom also, doesn't get the same amount of time, then we got problems, because this is the Citizens Complaint Authority. So they now want to sue, and they have sued in Judge Ruhlman's courtroom. Now, how they do this is that they walk into these courtrooms and say, we need a remedy right now. They don't go through the process of a judge being picked so it's fair and even. They just say, we need it right now. So if they get a judge that's super supportive of police, super against provisions that hold them accountable, or at least allow you to see what's going on, because we get that opportunity to see what's going on, then the judge will make a decision. Judge Ruhlman made a decision on a rant that made no damn sense. And I'll make sure that I send it to you, Mr. Ivey, so that you can read it and see it. They simply want to take up more time with their shenanigans because they feel as if these officers that are being represented, names are being dragged in the mud. Not the facts of the case that a citizen felt that they felt as if the officer was discourteous or used excessive use of force or didn't know the rules or pulled them over wrongly. None of these things that a citizen should be able to complain about. Oh, and by the way, we never talked about what the Supreme Court did on the Mirandizing, that now you can't sue in civil court even if they don't give you your rights to tell you that you're under arrest. So while we're talking, guys, we need to be able to connect these dots from what's happening federally to what's happening locally in your town. So we now have this lawsuit. Judge Ruhlman has signed off on an order of which no one knows what the order says. And the good thing about all this is Judge Ruhlman will be off the bench in January. But here we go again, folks. If we don't vote for judges who have our interests, that can help connect the dots and hold people accountable, not just Black people when they go to court, but all people when they show up in court. If we don't start electing folks that hold systems accountable, then we will constantly be on this Ferris wheel. So here we are again, fighting for the Citizens Complaint Authority to have its authority to do its job, to begin to allow you to see complaints from citizens and to allow you to follow the process of discipline and not collateral damage and or not, but there is a process in place for you to see. So I just wanted to let you all know that the city now, the city attorney, Ms. Emily Warner, who represented CCA 2 years ago, is representing them again. She fought and won that, had to go to appellate court. But these guys are lining folks up that support their theories and their thoughts. And we're having debates about opinions and not about fact. And what is literally being told to us right in front of our faces, our rights are being stripped away. So while we're focusing and we're looking, please, when you hear the calls and you hear certain things are under attack, you got to stand up and fight back for that as well. And make sure that we don't go backwards. And this is what is happening on the federal level, happening on the state level. And if we're not careful, will happen on the local level. So I just wanted to let y'all know that. I'll keep you updated on that, Mr. Ivey, on how this goes. It was interesting to see my name in their complaint as anti-police activists, and everybody that's on the board of the Citizens Complaint Authority is anti-police. Why can't we be for the right thing? Why can't I be for following my damn tax dollar, making sure that Black people get reciprocity? And we've always said, the Cincinnati Black United Front has always said that the collaborative has done several things. And one of the things that it has helped do is protect Black police officers. Now, whether they utilize it to their own provisions or not, that's up to them. But we've always known that if Black officers are getting their butt kicked on internally, Black folks, we get what? And we also know that when we fix things, everybody is fixed for everybody, because Black folks are always on the top of what's extremely wrong all the time, no matter where it is. So I just wanted to put that out there, and I do want to correct something that Donnie said on Friday about the no-knock warrants. We did hella work on no-knock warrants just to have the opportunity. No. We did great work on changing policy around no-knock warrants. We brought in several layers of attorneys from the Ohio Justice and Policy Center, the Center of Social Justice, which Raquel Howard Smith runs, from national people to look at what's happening national, best standards nationals. We did a lot of work changing those policies, and not just went through no knock, but regular warrants. The opportunities of what the collaborative has allowed us to do will hold people accountable, but we got to hold on to them, and we got to know what they are. We got to fight for them. And to simply saying nothing being done, that's just absolutely wrong. Thanks for saying that wasn't true on Friday, because I take this work very seriously, have done it for a very long time on behalf of the class, which are Black people. I'm going to send you the complaint and the 2 temporary restraining orders, and I'll keep you abreast as to what happens next. The next court date is July 11th or something like that, I believe. I will be in court so that folks can see the person that's interrupting the police and their attorneys when they try to come for a CCA, y'all. So I put it out on Facebook. I said, yeah, all you got to do is just come join the Zoom and just listen. You ain't even got to look, just listen. Read the cases. Follow the patterns and the practice. Follow the recommendations from CCA. Follow now that Gabe Davis has gotten 8 or 9 investigators now, what they are attempting to do. So we got to keep up with what's happening locally. And I'm trying my best to make sure that this work is moving along in an expeditious way. This contract that I have with the city to help consult with them on this will end. It will not be forever. I don't want it to be forever. They need to hire someone in this position to show us that they're serious about this particular work. As long as we have police in the Black community, we will need people on the front line, internally and externally, to hold them accountable. Y'all have a powerful day. Let me get to what I got to get to. I appreciate it. Nathan, I do want to talk to you about having a larger conversation in the constitutionality of concealed carry in the state of Ohio on how Cincinnati police will police us. I'm scheduling that now with CPD, and I would like to make sure that it get across all of our forums if you would help me host this. This is very serious on how they interpret who is qualified. That language in the state law is worrisome at the least. So I definitely need your help on that. So y'all have a powerful Monday, and talk to you all soon, and I'll keep you abreast on the lawsuit.
All right. Thank you for the call, Sister Iris. I'm here. Appreciate the call. Good morning, Choppers. Unfortunately, I got to make a move. I want to stay with you and chop it up. We could talk about so many things. It's a lot of stuff. We ain't talking about the BET Awards. I'm not sure if you ever watch them, but last night they always do people from our community, from our culture that we lost. And the first thing that came up was Roe v. Wade. So it's really interesting stuff. P. Diddy got a Lifetime Achievement Award. He said some really interesting things as well. I'll get into it with you tomorrow morning then, all right? Don't forget, today's show is brought to you in part by our friends over at Wing Champ, 3Ws.originalwingchamp.com. That's their website. You can call ahead for order or pickup. They're perfect for dinner today or perhaps lunch sometime this week. If you're anywhere near Sharonville, in fact, it's worth your time to drive out. As people say great things about the food and the environment, go check them out. They're Black owned. And for dessert, you can get your Creamalicious brand ice cream. I know you're interested if you haven't already seen it. Got a chance to experience it. You probably seen it on some news station or some talk show here or there. It seems like Liz is everywhere in terms of promoting what she's doing these days. People always hit me up saying, "Hey, is that Liz Rogers? She was on with Karen Hunter." She's doing big things. So that's Wing Champ. Check them out. 3Ws.originalwingchamp.com. With that, my friends, I got to make a move. Have an excellent rest of your Monday. It's going to be a powerful week, and we'll talk real soon. All right. Take care of yourself. I'm out.